Happy Friday to everyone watching. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Today we're going to check out a couple former Broncos that maybe Denver would be interested in bringing back. So after George Paton re-signed Kareem Jackson yesterday, there was some thought bubbles coming up of, could so-and-so come back? So we're going to explore all these free agents that maybe Denver wants to bring back. Maybe they're not done after all. First, though, if you guys noticed in yesterday's show, unfortunately missed trivia. It's okay, K-Jack, I forgive you. But I wanted to bring trivia to all of you. We've had done trivia a couple times now on the show. So the way it's going to work, we're going to ask a question. And at some point later on in today's video, we will reveal the answer. So stay tuned for that. But put your answers in the comment section when you know them. And today's question, who was the Broncos' first selection last time they didn't have a first-round pick? So you got to think, all right, how many years ago, what was the last year the Broncos didn't have a first-round pick? And in that year, who was the first player they took? Let me know in the comments. I'll be looking to see who's right and, who's just a little bit off. But today, could George Paton be re-signing more players? We'll see if it happens on Friday. Maybe Paton wants to go out and watch the Masters. Maybe he's going to take the weekend off. I don't know. Hope not, because it's like the busiest time of the year for the GMs. But here is a couple, first off, an interesting tweet I saw from a Broncos reporter, we'll call it, from Pro Football Network, Cody Rourke, tweeting out, I personally don't think George Paton is done with K-Jack's return. Could see Denver bringing back Bryce Callahan and Melvin Gordon back on one-year deals if the interest is mutual. Well, Melvin Gordon wants to come back. He's been pretty vocal about that. But just in general, do you want to see Paton make another move? Thank God for the Kareem Jackson signing. Things were getting a little stale there. Right after the Russell Wilson trade, it's like, all right, can we do something else now? Because that was so fun. Trade for do it again. Hit the Russell Wilson button. Make another big move. So if you want to see Paton, be a little busy before the draft, hit that thumbs up icon. Speaking of Bryce Callahan, here are a couple free agent targets we will check out in today's video. So the thing with Bryce Callahan is when you look at the stats of his time in Denver, pretty good things right there, right? The issue was just availability. That was always the downer. You only got about 50% of Bryce Callahan in Denver, meaning he missed just a little over 50% of the games when he was with the Broncos. So it was always a bit disappointing that we never got to see more of Bryce Callahan. Because when he was on the field, we all know how good he was. That wasn't an issue for Bryce Callahan. After coming over from Chicago, missing the first season, that was a bummer. You're right. It's like I said 2 seasons. It was basically 3 seasons, but he missed 1 entire season. So when you look at that in that lens, you're like, okay, I wish we had more of Bryce Callahan, because when he was on the field, he was doing awesome things. Now, I do think the signing of K'Wan Williams is likely to replace Bryce Callahan. That's kind of my thought train right there. Is you signed another nickel slot corner. Could that be the end of Bryce in Denver? I wonder if he'd come back as more of a depth piece, all right? Could Denver maybe get a discount as well? My last kind of train of thought right there. Moving sucks. You want to tell Bryce you can get an extra $500,000 elsewhere, but schools are good in Denver. How about you hang out here? Hang out in Broomfield. Don't move elsewhere. You don't want to do that. That sucks. Now, speaking of Bryce Callahan, do you think he is underrated? If you think Bryce Callahan is criminally underrated, type me, because I'm putting myself down there. This was a player that, it's like Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy that when he's on the field, you feel his impact. I loved Callahan. I just wish we got to see more of him. I also love seeing Broncos content. So if you're looking for free Broncos news and rumors, then join the channel today. I'm trying to reach 8,000 subscribers by the time we get to the NFL draft. And maybe it's a bit lofty because we have less than 3 weeks to go. But hey, we're going to be going, I wouldn't say live, but we're going to have tons of draft coverage here on the channel. And if Denver does move back into round 1, then we're going to be going live. So make sure you subscribe right now. Next free agent target, Melvin Gordon. This is good old Melvin. We've talked about him a couple times on the show. Melvin, what are we going to do with you? Well, it looks like maybe you're going to Baltimore, because Ian Rapoport tweeted this out this morning saying, free agent running back Melvin Gordon, the top player available at his position. All right, so right off the bat, this is a tweet that came from Melvin Gordon's agent. We can all agree like that. No way Ian decided to write that. Anywho, is in discussions with the Ravens on a potential deal, source said. That's his agent. The Broncos starter is a person of interest in Baltimore, which still has a need at RB. I wonder if he just Right. Melvin Gordon texted Rapoport with a Venmo, like, tweet this out so Paton gets a fire lit under him to bring him back. Ultimately, though, I think Denver should just start fresh in the draft. I got toasted, speaking of, roasted, in my last Broncos mock draft for not doing a running back pick in day 3, which was a miss, hand up, like, I know that. But let's get a younger guy in there. I thought Melvin Gordon exceeded my expectations. He only had a 1,000-yard rusher last season. He only got to double-digit touchdowns. But altogether, let's just hit the fountain of youth and kind of reset the RB room a little bit. It's going to be Javonte Williams at RB1. We know that. Who's RB2? If you want it to be Melvin Gordon, put his jersey number 25 down below. If you want to go with me in the draft, type draft. Or how about the guy we all forgot about, Mike Boone, right? Peyton's guy from their time in Minneapolis, got hurt, oddly enough, when they had that joint practice with the Vikings last preseason. We saw bits of him down the stretch in the season. Are we going to get him? We'll find out. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Next free agent target is Kyle Rudolph. So, producer Marsh is shaking his head because that's his boy. Marshall covers our Giants channel here at Chat Sports. That's where Kyle was last. So we'll explore the idea of going to get Rudolph for Denver. But first, how about BetUS? How about exploring the idea of making some money? Whether you want to bet on, the Masters. Which, by the way, thank you to everyone who commented golfers I should bet on. I rolled with a handful of the picks you guys made. I will come back and thank you if I win the bets. If I lose, we'll just keep it between us and no one will ever know. So, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Broncos125 to get that 125% deposit bonus. You don't want to bet in the Masters. You want to bet in the Nuggets. You want to go NBA route. Here are the updated title odds right now. Suns plus 275. Bucks plus 550. Listen, they're not going to get any better for your team once the playoff starts. So if you've got a good inkling of who's going to win, get your picks in now. We'll get to more Kyle Rudolph in just a second, but first, time to answer that trivia question from today's show. In fact, producer Marsh, could we put the question back on for a second? Yep, and then we'll get the answer. So, the question for today was about the last time the Broncos had a pick in the draft without a first-round pick. So, who was the Broncos' first selection last time they didn't have a first-round pick? You got to go back a decade at this point to get to Derek Wolfe. Remember the draft where Denver just hated the first round and just traded back? Well, and then they rolled with Wolfe out of Cincinnati. That was the last time Denver did not have a first-round pick. We'll find out who they pick this year in the second round if they altogether just don't move, and that will be the updated version of this trivia question. So if you got it right, let me know in the comments. If you want to cheat and look at Pro Football Reference, shame on you. Kyle Rudolph, though. We'll bring the rails, the train back on the rails here. Kyle Rudolph, released by the Giants at the start of free agency. Now, Denver needs another pass-catching tight end. You got Allo. I have no faith in Eric Tomlinson catching anything. I'd make a mean joke there, but I got in trouble last time I did this at Chat Sports. Maybe out of the veteran, you could squeeze a little bit of juice out of him. Listen, he was tough last year, and not like in a gritty, tough way for the Giants. He was not, long-time Minnesota Viking, and just 257 yards and 1 touchdown last year. If you can get, let's say, 40 receptions for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, that would be pretty good. I don't think anyone would have an issue with trying to get the last little bit out of him right there. So Kyle Rudolph, an interesting target. I saw it on Bleacher Report initially, by the way. Should mention that. So Bleacher Report did an article of one free agent everyone should sign. And they picked Kyle Rudolph for the Broncos. So, interesting thought right there. But how about you guys put on the GM hat? Who do you want the Broncos to sign? Pop down in the comment section. Let me know. Right, Bryce Callahan? You want to go with Kyle Rudolph? You want to swing for the fences? Tyrann Mathieu? It looks like he's kind of moved on from Denver. Not really in the running for him. Or Stephon Gilmore. That's another sexy name right there. I ultimately think, why not add some more secondary depth? So we've talked about getting edge rushers in the draft because you got to play Herbert twice, Mahomes twice, and a handful of other great AFC quarterbacks now. Well, yeah, you got to get after the quarterback, but why not try and, do the other half of defense in terms of batting the passes down, that whole entourage of the secondary. So Denver a little thin in that spot right now. They just don't have a ton of good backups. So Bryce Callahan want to come back and, split some reps-ish, not really, with K'Wan Williams at nickel or just spot someone because it's football. People get hurt all the time. That's the nature of the game. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's show. Hope you guys, first off, appreciate everyone that has watched, made us a part of your day. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch up with you later with more Broncos news and rumors.